Hello. So the world is certainly very complex, with lots of very, very painful points in it. And when I was in hospital, I developed the following strategy. I experienced a tremendous amount of pain. And some of it was incredibly acute. For example, there was a point in which they took my right hand. It was very swollen, not much blood supply, and they just took a knife and cut a slit all through my hand on both sides and on every finger on each side. That was such pain that I couldn't do anything else but, there was really nothing else but this pain. Okay, so there's a really, really extreme pain. Then there's regular pain, which was also extremely painful, but wasn't at that high level that took more all of my attention. And on those pains, the process I developed over time was to try and both experience the pain, there was no other way, but also to try and look at it a little bit from the outside perspective. As if to try and say, look at it, isn't this interesting? And let me try to describe the pain. Is it sharp? Is it throbbing? Does it change? What happens when I breathe? Kind of a level of experiencing the pain and kind of a meta level of trying to observe the pain. And it actually helped me quite a lot in those days to, I think, feel less pain and feel more in control. Now, it was something I developed intuitively to try and kind of not just experience the pain and focusing on that and asking the question, when will it stop, but also saying, isn't this interesting, and what else can I learn from it? When is it better? When is it worse? How can they deal with it? How would I describe it? And so on. And in the last few years, there's been lots of things that have been very, very tough. COVID deniers, academia, war, anti-Semitism, all kinds of things that have been very tough. And I find myself that I gravitate very much back to that approach. I kind of didn't notice it for a long time, but I made this dual approach of dealing with pain, I made it into my nature. And only recently I realized how much I do it, that when I look at things that are incredibly painful and difficult and complex, like the war, or the political aggression and the hate and so on, and I find myself that I do the same thing. I look at the phenomena and I feel the pain and the helplessness and the sadness from it, but I also keep a level of saying, isn't this interesting? What can we learn from this? What am I noticing? What are the nuances? Now, I think maybe that approach got me to be a social scientist. Maybe being a social scientist strengthened that approach. But the point is that I find this duality is helping me a lot. And I'm mentioning it here with the hope that maybe it could help other people as well. So we are focusing on the downside and the sadness and the difficulty and the pain and so on. Maybe there's a way to not just focus on that, and also have an element that says, isn't it interesting? Am I learning something about human nature? Am I learning something about myself? Am I learning something about society, social media, government, and so on? So let me know if you think that this approach could help you as well. Maybe you're doing it already, but I find that it's incredibly useful for me. Okay, wishing all of us better times.